What I would recommend is that if you can put your questions in the chat, that's the best way for us to capture all the questions that you're asking and then give you the answers to it. All right, let's get started here. Now, if you're a student who's starting in summer as well, this webinar is for you too, because there's a lot of information that's common for our students who are joining us in summer and fall. Fall definitely is our largest class, always out of the 3 semesters. So fall being the largest, and then you have spring, which is of a significant size, and then a few people join us in summer as well. But whichever semester you join in, it doesn't matter. You can get started pretty much the same way. All right. First things first, if you are on this webinar, you are here because you admitted to UT Dallas, but you may not have accepted your admission. There's no fee to accept the admit. All you have to do is just go to utdallas.edu/accept, and there are a set of instructions how you can do this. If you've been active on your Orion, that's where you really go and accept your decision. So please start with accepting your decision, because for you to enroll, you need to be active. Uh, uh, as an status should be active. Right now you might be admitted, but until and unless you accept the admit, you'll not become an active student. And when you're active, that's when you start enrolling for classes. So please make sure that you do that. As I mentioned, there's no fee to accept your admit. Catalog. What is a catalog? So think about this as a menu card. You go to a restaurant and the restaurant tells you, here are the items that we will serve you. You look at the catalog and then the menu, and then you select what you want to order. You can't go to restaurant A and tell that I want stuff from restaurant B, because that's not on their menu. The same way, the university also has a menu card, and that's called the catalog. What it means is that once you enter at UTD, there's a specific catalog that you'll get on. Generally, a new catalog is always released or always updated in fall of that semester. So every year, like the latest catalog right now is fall 23, which means any student who comes to UT Dallas in fall of 23, spring of 24, and summer of 24 will be on the fall 23 catalog. Going forward, from fall 24, anybody who starts in fall 24, spring 25, or summer 25 will be on the fall 24 catalog. Okay, it's called the fall 24 catalog, but it's the academic year for which it applies. So every student is on a specific catalog, which means that once you start the program, now you have up to 6 years to complete it. Not that everybody takes 6 years, but let's say the very next year, the requirements of the program change. It won't affect you because you are on a previous catalog. And this catalog is like a contract where we say, okay, for you to earn the business analytics degree, here are the X number of things you need to do. And let's say in the course of the time that you are at UT Dallas, if you are here for at least more than a year, definitely you will see another catalog get released. You're not on it, but it is. But let's say there are some things that are favorable to you and you like the newer catalog. You can always move forward to a newer catalog, and that will apply to you. But this catalog will give you all the information about all the courses that you can take, all the electives you can take. That's part of the MSBA program. One good thing about this is that, yes, it does tell you the electives and the core classes, but as the MSBA program, and this is true for a lot of our other master's programs as well, every student is allowed to take 2 courses outside of the catalog. So let's say tomorrow from the supply chain program, I'm just throwing an example, there are 2 courses that are not offered by the MSBA program and is not listed on the MSBA catalog, but you like those 2 courses and you want to take them. Absolutely, we can allow you to take that. There are a handful of courses, I would say less than 5 courses, that we don't allow students to take. And whenever you're taking something outside of the catalog, you can just run it by us. But just wanted to throw that in there. Okay, TB test and the meningitis vaccine, these are the two holds that you may have. If you are specifically for TB tests, this is mostly meant for our international students. You need to get a TB test done before you start classes. By state law, you need your TB test hold removed before you enter your classes. You cannot do this test outside of the US. The first preference is given to the test on campus, but then we have a few designated off-campus centers as well. And these are close to the campus only. They're not very far away from here where you need to get this test. So that's why planning your arrival is very key because you need to do a few orientations, a few tests like the TB test and all that the university will require. Meningitis vaccine is required for people who will be below the age of 22 on the first day of classes, which is on for summer admits, May 28, 2024 is when we are starting summer. If you are under the age of 22, you will need this vaccine. And once you are vaccinated, and you can get this in your home country, you need to just get vaccinated and send the document to the registrar's office, and they will remove the hold for you. Similarly, for fall admits, if you are under the age of 22 on August 19th, then you will need this. Even if your birthday is on August 20th and you turn 22 on August 20th, let's say for fall, you will still need this because on day one of classes, you are not 22. But if you're older than that, then this doesn't apply to you. All right. You will see a lot of holds on your account for a variety of reasons. Number one thing, the program, that is me and Mrs. Leventhal, who's your program manager, we don't put any holds on your account. So we cannot move your holds as well. Your holds, first of all, every hold, when you click on the tile for your hold, gives you the information as to what this hold is. To be honest, it's very clear that what the hold entails and what do you need to do to get the hold removed. Plus, it also has an email address listed that if you have any questions or things you need to discuss about this hold, here is the email address. Mostly between the three that you see on your screen right now, all those holds can be taken care of. So any enrollment related holds can be removed by advising. That is jsongradvising at utdallas.edu. Any health test related, so let's say you see a TB test hold, you can contact HealthSen at UT Dallas. And then any other admissions related hold will be admission at UT Dallas. Uh, one more thing about the holds is there is a start date of the hold. So let's say you have not done your TB test, but that hold is on your account. And what happened is that you ask that hold to be removed. First of all, until a certain criteria is met, a hold is never removed. A hold will stay on your account until you complete what is needed. Having said that, let's say we are going to start enrollment very soon. We are in that week, in fact, and your TB test hold is on your account. Now we know that you won't be here until, and especially if you're an international student, you won't be here until 30 days of the start of the semester. So what do? At that point of time, the health center, they will push your hold to a future date. And so you will see the hold, but the start date of the hold will be in the future. So if you see a hold, do check the start date. Don't panic that the hold is there. The hold will be there until it is taken care of. But also note what the start date is. If it's in the future, it's not going to affect you right now. Okay, a very wordy slide, but there was no other way to put this together. So in the first semester, we have some recommendations. Why we recommend these courses? Because based on how the curriculum is developed, one thing that you have to keep in mind is um, you're not really required to take all the core classes first and then take electives. You can mix and match as you need. But what you need to make sure is if there's an advanced course that has a prereq, you will have to take the prereq in a prior semester. So that's where we see that most of the prereqs are fulfilled within the first three courses that we listed. So Buan 6320, which is the database foundation course for analytics, that one, BA with R, or the modeling for business analytics. Now, BA with R, as the name suggests, the preferred language is R, but Buan 6383, which is Modeling for business analytics, and I'm right here. That course is taught using Python. So again, whatever fancies you, you can choose that course. And then your advanced statistics for data science. Now, you can take any other course that doesn't have a prereq in your very first semester. It's up to you how you want to go about it. But do check if the course has a prereq, then it has to be completed in a semester prior. If the course has a core requisite, which means you can take your core course and your advanced course together concurrently. So just stagger it as, think of your prereqs and then kind of take your advanced courses accordingly. MAS 6102, which is professional development, is one course that is required by everybody in the very first semester. This course is focused on, you know, preparing you for corporate America, how to go about your resume, your LinkedIn, your what are the different tips and tricks in terms of presenting yourself professionally, how to prep for interviews, everything that is required for you to do better in your job searches. And once you get the job, how do you go about the job? All of that is covered in the professional development class. That's the first semester course that you must take in the very first semester. It's a 1 credit course on top of the 36 credits that you need to do. However, for folks who have completed a degree at UT Dallas, or they have at least 2 years of work experience inside the US, they might be in a position to get this waived. Okay, but especially if you're an international student and you've never worked in the US, this cannot be waived for you. You may have worked for US clients, but that doesn't qualify. It has to be on US soil. Here are some courses that we took out that we felt that you could take in the first semester. They don't have any prereqs, or if they have them, you would be taking them. So you're kind of free in terms of taking these courses for the very first semester. Uh, you you need at least 9 credits as an international student. As a domestic, one course is enough to keep you active. But I believe depending on what flavor you want to go with, and that's where maybe just sitting with the catalog for a while and just looking at what options you have at hand, you can think about courses. But this is a very popular set of courses that a lot of our students take, and just from years of seeing the enrollment patterns, we're making a recommendation. But as I mentioned before, if there's another course that doesn't have a prereq, you can take that in the very first semester. This is a course that we introduced last fall. So it's been 2 semesters since we have been offering this. It's Foundations of Programming for Business Analytics. Again, we have found that this is a need for a good number of students who may not have that programming background, or even if you have that background, you might want to just refresh. This course is designed around R and Python. So if you take it in the first semester, and this will count as an elective, if you take it in the first semester, even your courses like BA with R or your advanced stats that uses R, you will greatly benefit, because this course for the first 6 weeks will teach you R. And in the other courses I just mentioned, BA with R and advanced stats, you generally start working on R in like week number 7 or 8. So I think the overlap, the way this is designed to help you learn R from basics in the first 6 weeks. And then the next 6, 7 weeks is all on Python. Again, we start from very foundational topics and we move on. It's a great elective, to be honest. If you want to build that nerve around programming, this is strongly recommended. Domestic students, you can take any of the courses that's available. As I said before, just look for the pre and the core requisites. MAS 6102 is mandatory in the very first semester, but you can waive it off, and the link is given right there. OPRE 6303, that's a course which is mandatory in the very first semester if it is listed on your offer letter, your admit letter. And what happens is we look at whether you have taken calculus at your undergrad level? And did you score at least a B, a C there? If you don't see calculus at the undergrad level, we will put this course on your admission letter, and you'll have to take that in the very first semester, OPRE 6303. Now, this will not count as part of your 36 credits because it's a program prerequisite. But please check your admission letter to know what are the courses that you'll have to take. You will, 100% of you will find MAS 6102 listed, but some of you will find OPRE 6303 as well. For our international students, same things, take the courses that are provided, just make sure that you are taking care of the pre and the core requisites. You need to enroll in at least 9 credits. And of that 9 credits, 6 need to be face-to-face. So if you're taking 9 credits, only one course can be online, max. Now, if you're enrolled in an online course, remember they are purely 100% asynchronous classes, which means everything is professionally pre-recorded, and there is an additional fee of $80 per credit. So a 3 credit hour course will incur another $240 as fee for the online course. And the same thing with MAS 6102 and OPRE 6303. That applies to you all as well. All the deadlines around the calendar. So it's a 2-page document that the entire university follows. All deadlines around enrollment, withdrawal, fee payment, fee refunds is given. You need to follow those deadlines as listed in the calendar. As far as the fee payment deadline is concerned, check your EasyPay. EasyPay is the portal through which you can make your payments. And what happens is, depending on what is your categorization as a student, you will see a due date on your EasyPay portal to see what exactly is the date that applies to you. Now, you do get emails from the bursar's office, and we also send you emails from the program informing you about the dates. So that can help. This is our official Telegram group. I would recommend that you join it because through this group, you can ask a lot of questions around, just anything that you need to know about the program, any difficulties that you're facing in terms of holds or enrollment, whatever under the sun. Any question related to the program can be asked on this channel. So I would strongly recommend that you go with this. And we'll put that link in the chat as well, so you can join it. Okay. Some questions that over the period of time that we have seen that students ask especially during webinars like this. So which courses to take is, of course, a very popular question. Here is what I would recommend. Think about what kind of roles do you see yourself in upon graduation? And to get into those roles, what are the kind of skills you need? So here's a small assignment that you do. You pick up 5 roles that you want to get into. You pick up 5 companies that you want to work with. So that's like 25 different combinations. For each of the combination, let's say one of them is data analyst, Microsoft, just throwing an example. You look at what that role entails. Simply just Google data analyst, Microsoft. You might see a position posted publicly, and you can look at what the job description is. In that job description, you can go about pretty much, what are the skills needed, and make a list of that. So copy all the list of those skills somewhere and do the same thing with the rest of the 24 jobs as well. What will happen is at the end of this exercise, you will have a long list of skills. A lot of them would be common. So let's say if you eliminate all the common and overlapping skills, you have like 25, 30 unique skills. Now, bucket those unique skills into 3 buckets. One is skills you already have. You don't have to do anything about that. You're good with it. Leave it. Then there is another section of skills that you just need to do a quick brush up. A couple of weeks of some online training, online videos, online courses, whatever it is. It's a low lift, so you don't have to really spend too much time, but you'll be good with it. Then the third bucket and the final one is skills you have no clue about. Now see what are the courses that offer you those skills. And that's how you decide what courses that you need to take. Which professors to take? That's another question. And you tend to ask, a lot of times your seniors and people who have been here, hey, what course, what professors we take? Here is what my 2 cents is on this. If you end up talking to student A, who did very well in the course, got the best grade, for them it's the best professor. Then you met student B who took the very same professor but did not score well. So who's to blame? Of course, the professor, right? That's what we think. We did everything that we could, but it's the professor to blame. So depending on who you end up talking with will give you some idea about a faculty member. And you just make a decision based on that. But here is what I want to offer. We are a top business school, and getting on our faculty is not easy. Just like getting an admit is not easy, getting on the faculty is not easy. There are definitely things that we see in these faculty members, whether they are full-time or they are adjuncts, that they bring to the table, which is very unique and very valuable. They go through several rounds of interviews. They go through several, there are deliberations with several committee members before we get to the point where we say, okay, this person can teach a class. So for us, and of course, every candidate comes with a very solid academic or industry background. Thinking of all of that together, please do not base your decision off one person who told you something about one professor. First of all, if they've been teaching us for a long period of time, that means they've been doing a fairly decent job, and that's why they are even teaching. So look at the best thing is read their bios, read their CVs. So when you get on Coursebook and there's a particular professor you want to check out, you can look at one of the prior semesters and see what this thing was what courses they took. So there's 2 pieces of information that can help you. One is their syllabus that they used, and the second one is their CV is also there. Read their CV, read about them. See if you want to be in a class with a person who brings X kind of expertise to the table, and then make a decision. Do I need to complete all core courses first? You don't have to. You can always mix and match with electives. What we generally recommend is try to finish them as soon as possible, because let's say towards the end of your degree program, and if you're interning, let's say out of state, you don't have a lot of flexibility in terms of what courses you can take, because you'll have to take them online since you're not in person. So if you wanted to take elective 1 and you ended up taking elective 2, that's fine. Both of them will count. But with core classes, you must complete all your core classes to graduate. So I think that will restrict your flexibility to some extent. That's why we say try to complete them as soon as possible, but you don't have to. There are students who take core classes in their very final semesters, and they're equally good, and equally at peace. Can I take courses outside the MSBA program? Yes, you can. Up to 2 electives. When JSOM, you don't need any additional approval. You can definitely take that. Even if it is outside the Jindal school, from some other school, like, we have sometimes our students want to take more stats classes, because they want to do a PhD in stats, and this will help. So the natural sciences and mathematics program, they have the stats program. Or we have the public policy, the economic school that offers a few courses, or the computer science school that offers courses, and sometimes students want to take them. We do review them on a case-to-case basis and approve them. But if it's a course within the Jindal school, barring 4 or 5 courses, every other course is okay for us, for you to take. Just run it by us whenever you want to take a few courses, and we'll look into it. Criteria for graduation: 36 credits need to be completed, which means 18 core, which is 6 classes for core and 6 for electives. If you do an internship, those credits will come out of the electives bucket. You need to have a minimum GPA of 3.0 in your core classes. This is an average GPA, okay? It's not that every course should be a 3.0. So the minimum GPA, an average GPA for your core classes need to be a 3.0, and even the overall GPA has to be a 3.0 for you. You know, sometimes, unfortunately, there are students who will have an overall GPA of 3.0, but their core is at 2.9. 2.9 is not 3. It has to be a 3. And then you have completed either an internship, or if you're not able to get an internship, there is a project-based course called the practicum that students can take. How soon can I finish the program? 1 year is definitely doable. Up to 6 years, most of our students take 1.5 to 2 years. So it's all up to you how you stack up your credits. When can I start an internship and what kind of internship can I pursue? So the first part is when can you start? Once you're done with 12 credits, you can start. But for international students, you will need to complete 2 long semesters before you start. So students who are coming in summer, for you, 2 long semesters will be fall 24 and spring 25. Summer will not count as a long semester. For students who are coming in fall, it is fall 24 and spring 25 as well. So technically, whether you come in summer of 24 or fall of 24, the first time as an international student when you can start an internship is summer of 25. For our domestic students, as soon as you're done with your 12 credits, you could take 12 credits in fall and you're ready to do an internship in spring. Now, let's say you're working full time. And this is for domestic students. We don't want you to leave your job and do an internship. We can work with you on a special project. So between you and your manager, you figure out a project. It could be a proof of concept, it could be some research, whatever it is, but something that utilizes the skills that you earned in the program. Okay. And you just have an understanding between you and your manager. Send us the description of what that project will look like, and you can get credit. You can take up to 3 credits. The first internship can be for a 0 credit. But after that, if you need more approvals for an internship, then up to 3 credits can be taken throughout the program. What kind of internship can you pursue? So we look at the job description and we see, have you taken courses in which you earn these skills for which now you're doing an internship? Because that's the sequence. You take the course, earn the skills, do an internship. You can't say, oh, I had prior experience before coming into the program, and so I'm doing this internship. No. And especially for international students, you have to show the relationship between the coursework you have taken and the internship you're trying to pursue. With that, we come to the very final slide here of our, of our presentation this morning. I'm going to jump into your questions in a moment, which I'm sure you're putting in the chat. If you're not putting them, please do put those there. That helps us keep everything on track. But our email addresses and our direct phone numbers, in case you need to connect with us. But ms1@UT Dallas is the email for the program. You send an email there and we'll make sure that you get a response. Okay. On that note, let's jump into some of your questions here. Oh, we have got a lot of them, which is good. So Sivi, would you like to play Q&A here?
Sure. What's the possibility of switching up my MSBA to an MSBA plus MBA degree, even if it goes beyond 2 years?
Absolutely. In fact, a lot of our students who don't apply for a dual degree like that, they end up adding the MBA in the very first semester, or maybe after the second semester, whenever you want to do that, you can do it. Yes, you just have to sit with our MBA program, just make sure that everything is on track. Given that MBA and MSBA kind of share a lot of credits, you can start that degree. And if it takes you beyond 2 years, not a problem. Remember, your credits will expire at the end of 6 years. So will start expiring from from the 7th year onwards. So you can definitely do this. And especially people who do an MBA and an MSBA degree, I think they will end up finishing it off in 2 to 2.5 years. If they're full time, that's the timeline that they can see.
Okay, the next question is asking whether or not they can ask questions about the I-20 here. You may, but really you need to speak with ISSO.
Exactly. I mean, if there is an excellent website that they have a page about how to receive an I-20. So till the time you can follow that page, that's great. But if you have questions, I mean, you can send it to us this way. And you know what? For the sake of this, just put it in the chat, Shubham. If you're able to answer that, we will do it. But anything related to immigration, despite all the experiences we have about what we can answer, we always direct students to ISSO because immigration is a sensitive topic, and we don't want to give you the wrong advice that might hurt you eventually. So that's why we kind of stay away from it as much as we can. But yeah, some basic questions we may answer. So just put that in the chat for now and we'll pick it up.
There is a long question about breakdown of credits per semester, but really it comes down to if you are an international student, you need to take 9 credits per semester.
Absolutely. And in a semester, now summer is optional. You don't have, if you're not starting in summer. Students who are starting in summer will have to take 6 credits because that's the requirement. Students who are starting in fall, when summer comes, it's up to you whether you want to enroll or not. Let's say you started in fall 24, you took classes in spring 25, and then summer you got an internship. And that internship got extended into fall. And you don't want to take 9 credits because that's a lot of coursework for you to do along with your maybe a full-time internship. So at that point of time, what you can do is you can ask for a reduced course load. And if you are working on an internship that is full-time for at least 11 weeks of the semester, which is 21 hours or more per week for at least 11 weeks, then ISSO can give you, approval for reduced course load, which means that you can enroll in courses in credits less than 9 credits for that semester. But you cannot do reduced course load in back-to-back semesters, which means you did it in fall and then you again did it in spring, the very next spring, unless that spring is your graduating semester. In your graduating semester, irrespective of anything, all you need is at least 1 credit in a face-to-face setting. If you're an international student, domestic students don't have that face-to-face requirement, but international students, at least 1 credit, and that could be an internship. So, but till the time you're not doing your internship, you have to maintain your 9 credits.
Yeah.
Sorry, go ahead.
Someone requested the link to the catalog. I put that. When does registration begin and end? So I also put the link to JSOM Graduate Advising's website that has the information on how to register, how to find your enrollment date, your enrollment appointment, all of that. So hopefully you can watch those videos. How many core courses and electives do students generally take in the first and second semester?
So again, the recommendations we made for the database class, BA with R, the modern class, and I think I'm getting a little feedback here. Sivi, I think I may have muted you as well in that. Okay, so I would say people tend to take 1 to 2 at least. Again, there is no hard and fast rule that you must take all your core classes in the very first, but I would say at least 1 to 2 core classes, and they always throw in an elective, which is a good way for you to kind of keep a balance between what your core requirements are, plus what are some of the electives that you want to pursue. Can we audit classes before taking one? When you say audit, so here's the thing. On the payment refund calendar, you will see that there are some deadlines in terms of when you can drop. You can switch out of classes. There is an add or swap deadline, which runs into the first week of the semester. You can go to a class, and if you don't feel like that this is the one for you, either you drop it or you just swap it out with something else. Now, given the fact that all of you are able to register now, whatever you are registering for, even if you have the intention of dropping it later, you are required to pay for it right now. Now, you can get a refund later on, and there is also a set date until which you can get refund. So the short answer, without complicating it with too much details, is yes. If you sit in your class in the very first week, there is a possibility, but you must look at the academic calendar page 2 for your refund deadlines as to by when you need to make that decision of whether you're dropping the class or not. And at the same time, I would like to mention, do not just go and sit in a class for the sake of checking out how the class is, because one, uh, you know, students who are enrolled in that class are the ones who are required to sit there. It creates a lot of imbalances if people just start going and sitting in classes without even asking. They do it in movies, but I'm sorry. It's a very impractical thing to do.
Is there a WhatsApp group for fall?
We don't use WhatsApp. The reason is very simple. There's a restriction. Now, people have a lot of unofficial WhatsApp groups that are floating around in the market. Uh, we don't have access to all of that. We use Telegram just because we can put more than a few hundreds of students on that. And that was the link that we shared during the presentation.
Okay, the next question is about having received the scholarship, saying that they must enroll by June 1st, but they have a hold because their final year degree certificate is not completed. They graduate only by the month of May. How do they clear their hold, and will it affect their scholarship?
So what you need to do is you need to definitely reach out to admission and explain this to them. Feel free to CC me on that email, but just tell them that you will have it, give them a date by when you will have it. Our admissions team is kind of very reasonable, and what they do is, depending on case to case, they can move the hold to a future date. So as soon as they move the hold, you will still see the hold, but they would have changed the start date of the hold to a future date. Let's say July or August, whatever it is, depending on your request. And that will give you the ability to enroll in classes before June 1st.
Will the recording be shared with us? The recording that the JSOM held last week about enrollment and how graduate advising helps and holds, as well as each program's webinar like this, will be posted online. I think they're waiting till all of them are conducted to update the website, because the website still says spring 24. So if you want to send an email to MSBA, I will be happy to send you the link next week. There are a few courses which were shown that need to be taken in the first semester. Are those compulsory to take? And while registering for classes, do we need to pay up front?
So you don't pay right away. Let me do one thing for that one question, because deadlines are coming up a lot in our questions.
So I did put the link to the academic calendar.
Yeah, but let me show them how to interpret that calendar as well. So the link was posted in your chat, but this is how this website looks like. And again, this is like a snapshot of the key dates, but you can always click on the view the full calendar. Right now it is spring 24, but the future calendars are also posted. So let's go to fall 24 and see how do we go about this. First of all your dates are right here. When does classes start? What's the last day of classes? When does registration start? When does it end? So you can see that the online add and swap, it ends on August 26th. The classes start on 19th, 26th is the last day for doing that. Last day for regular registration is August 15th. But then late registration begins from August 16th to August 26th. So every date is given. What is the census day? It's September 4th. Census day is the day when we report our numbers to the state. And that's why it's a reporting deadline for us, but it's also an important deadline from the school perspective for the very same reason that our official reporting has happened by then. Now, let's say you drop after census day out of a class. Number one, you won't get a refund for that class, and we'll put a W next to in your transcript for that course. That W has no meaning other than the fact that somebody dropped out of a class after the census day. Till when can you drop it? The withdrawal ends on November 5th. So let's say you say after a few weeks, you said, you can't take this class anymore. It's too much for you to take. You want to drop it. You want to withdraw out of the class. You can do it until November 5th. You won't get any refund, but you can still draw. International students, please be very careful. you should never go below 9 credits in your semester. Okay. When do final exams happen? If your course is holding final exams, then what those dates will be, and you'll get the exact date for your particular class, uh, a couple of weeks after the semester begins. And then specifically for graduating students, all those deadlines when they can apply for graduation. When are the universities? What are the closings? So we have the Labor Day weekend, September 2. Then we have the Thanksgiving holidays. We have the winter break. All of that will be listed. When will we have no classes, etc. Page 2 is all about refund and payments. So you can see that even if you're enrolling right now, your early payment deadline is going to be July 24th. Now, the bursar might come back and say that, okay, we are going to make an extension, but that is up to bursar, how they do. But because we are opening up your registration during the early cycle, we will go by the early payment deadline right there. What else is there? Refunds. So if you drop out of a course, but you remain enrolled in other courses, then you get 100% refund by the census day, which is September 4th. However, if you're withdrawing from all your classes, complete withdrawal, then you get 100% of refund by August 18th, which is a day before the start of the semester. So if you're doing a full withdrawal by August 18, a day before classes, you'll get 100% refund. If you delay it by a few days, you get 80%, 70%, 50%, depending on when do you withdraw, and those are the dates given to you. So again, these two pages have all the dates, and this is what the university follows very closely. Okay.
What is the difference between a full term session, first 8-week session, and second 8-week session? And is the regular academic session the same as full term session?
Repeat the last part, Sevi.
Is a regular academic session the same as full term session?
Yes. So again, I'll start with the last one. So yes, regular and full term is the same one. There are some courses, for example, your professional development class is offered as an 8-week class. Now, it could be during the first 8-week, or it could be during the second 8-week. Okay, so let's say that you enroll in the professional development for the first 8-week, but some of you could not get into it, because there are limited seats. Well, we'll have a second 8-week class as well, and you can get into that. But for most of the part, it's going to be you who's going to enroll in a full-term course. So if it's a 3-credit class, it is going to be a full-term class. Very rarely you will enroll in a course which is just for the first 8-week or the second 8-week. I think for most of the students, apart from the professional development class, there isn't another class that they enroll, as in first 8 or last 8 weeks.
Are international students allowed to work on campus?
Yes, you can work on campus from day one. You'll get authorization from the ISSO for that, and it's totally okay for you. Any off-campus employment is prohibited until it is approved by the university.
For instance, I'm doing an internship out of Texas State in 3rd semester. Can I take courses online?
You can take them. Again, you'll have to do a couple things. If you're outside of Texas, definitely you cannot do face-to-face classes, so you will not be able to meet that face-to-face requirement. You can go for reduced course load, and that will allow you to enroll in less than 9 credits. You'll have to do that. But again, when that arises, do reach out to ISSO to see if there is any changes in what USCIS is requiring students to do at that point of time. But simple answer, given what we have right now, yes, you can take an online course, but you'll have to do reduced course load as well.
Under financial aid information in the Orion portal, it is showing as there is no financial aid information provided. Is it regarding scholarship?
Say again, your financial aid or any kind of scholarship that's awarded to you, it gets reflected as you start enrolling. Right now, if you have been offered a scholarship, that letter would have gone to ISSO. I think it takes a few weeks before it is given out. However, there is another type of financial aid, and that is specific to our domestic students. So that section will list out any kind of scholarships, tuition, and all that you get. You'll have to just wait for it to populate that information.
Will I be offered scholarship based on my GPA in second year?
First of all, most of the scholarships are not offered on the basis of only your CGPA. CGPA is an important aspect, but everything is taken into account: your application, what you have done in the school at the university, and of course your academics as well. Now, in your second semester, every continuing student can only apply for a scholarship, for a continuing student scholarship in the fall semester. So whichever semester you're coming in, you just have to make sure that before that fall. So right now, our students who came in before are getting ready to apply for the fall 24 continuing student scholarships. They just have to make sure that by the end of this spring, so for fall 24, it is spring 24. By the end of spring 24, they have completed at least 12 credit hours. So if you're going for a fall 25 continuing student scholarship, you have to make sure that by spring 25, you have completed at least 12 credits, and then you can apply. May 1st is the deadline for that, for continuing student scholarships.
We talked about how to book classes and courses. In how many days can I expect to get a decision on scholarship?
So again, this is something that is given out on a rolling basis. We have made offers, and the committee regularly looks at people who have applied to get a scholarship. Uh, I would say that every 2-ish weeks they meet and they make a determination if there are any new recipients that they want to award a scholarship to. But I think all this will go all the way until about the second week of May, and then they will let you know whether they were able to award you a scholarship or not. What I mean by that is, right now, let's say they are not able to award you a scholarship. They put your name back into the pool for consideration. But after somewhere around the second week of May, they will send out rejects as well to people who they could not consider for the fall cycle.
How do I know which elective courses will be better? Do you provide any suggestions for electives?
That's a very wide question. As I said before, what your goals are, I'm not aware of that. So, depending on what kind of jobs you want to get into, what kind of skills you need to be successful in those jobs, those are the ones that will help you and make a determination of what kind of electives you need to take. So, I mean, if you want to send me an email about it as to where you see yourself, I'm happy to kind of make some recommendations. But just by what you have asked, it's very difficult to assess what would be a good recommendation for you.
Is it advisable to schedule 3+ classes a day?
It's going to be a long day, to be very honest, in the sense that most of these classes are going to be 3 hours long. So by the time you're in your third class, your mental capacity has definitely diminished for the day to do well. I would not recommend that. Now, students do it, but let's say uh, you take 3 classes on the same day. What if their deadlines start? You have the same, you have a submission for all 3 classes on the same day. That's going to be a problem. You have exams maybe on the same day. And by the way, one instructor is not responsible because you signed up for another class right after theirs. So they won't give you accommodation for you to go and prepare and do stuff. I would not recommend doing that. Max, keep it to 2 in a day. Spread it as much as you can.
I was told to register by the 1st of June. Can I do it before sending official transcripts and certificate? And when is the registration open?
So again, both those questions were answered in the previous ones. Number one, check out your Orion to see when your registration appointment is. And if you have holds on your account, please reach out to admission or advising to just let them know. Again, click on the hold. It'll give you the information about what the hold is about and who to contact. And then you can just tell them to, like, if you're still waiting on your transcripts or there is a delay, give them exact date and time. See, we have to be intelligent about the questions that we are asking. We need to tell people, like, don't just ask, please remove my hold. First of all, nobody's going to remove your hold without you meeting the criteria for that hold. So what you need to tell them is, hey, I have my documents are delayed and I will have them by X date. Give them specifics. And once you give them specifics, then they can make a determination that, okay, should we move the hold or not? But for you, your appointment is already set. It shows 10 minutes there. It doesn't mean that you have to only register in 10 minutes. In that window is when you can start registering all the way until when we saw August 15th was the regular deadline, and then until August 16th with the late registration deadline that you can continue.
Can Python and R language be taught in the first semester?
Yeah, Buan 6333 is the course. Foundations of Programming for Business Analytics.
Do we have to register for courses before getting the visa?
See, visa and your courses are separate. They don't, again, registration will open right now. It's up to you if you want to register later. But remember, if you are a scholarship recipient, you have a June 1 deadline to register. Secondly, let's say if that's not the case with you, you if you wait and you don't, by the time you're ready, let's say you say, I'm going to do this in July, the number of options that you will have will diminish. The other thing is if you're going for a visa appointment, uh, telling the visa officer that you're enrolled in classes and showing them your schedule is a positive thing, that it shows that you're ready for the next step. So don't hold back. Plus, as we mentioned, there's no fee to register. It's not like you have to pay immediately.
Can an international student work during their first semester on campus?
Yes, they can.
What if I register for a few subjects and want to change later? Is it possible?
Yeah, you can do that till the time. See, remember those registration deadlines. For fall, for example, up to August 15th, whatever changes you want to make, you can make it. From in the late registration period, it'll cost you $100 if you're making changes, if you're adding courses. But absolutely, you register. What is this? The first week of April, you register for some courses, and then by the end of April, you want to change your schedule. By all means, you can do that. And what happens is between now and registration, we will send out emails every now and then to you. Hey, X class has opened. Hey, Y course has been added. A Z thing is happening. And based on that, if you want to make changes, you can make changes.
As we talk to seniors, it is suggested that if you get the scholarship, it is good to take 4 courses in the first semester as it makes the PD course free and also saves money. But it is also being said that it is good practice to take 9 credits and 1 of PD as we are just getting started. It's a personal choice.
It is a personal choice. And let me tell you, financial reasons are very temporary, and do not make permanent decisions using temporary reasonings. You want to stress yourself with 4 courses just to save some money? See, irrespective of whether you're a domestic or an international student, you are paying money. You're paying a significant chunk of tuition. You have to think about if you're taking that fourth course. Sometimes people say, well, I'll take 6 courses and everything will be, there'll be 2 courses that will be free. Imagine the stress it is putting on you, number one. Number two, there is so much that has to be done outside the classes to be successful. Okay, I don't know who you ended up with talking to. We have students who are extremely active and do a lot of great things. And guess what? We'll see them getting internships very quickly. We see them getting jobs very quickly, good jobs and all. They have a solid network. I mean, they are in the best shape. And then there are students who will be like, oh, I'm not going to do any of these things. I'll just go to class. I'll just scrape through. I'll take a lot of classes to save money. At the end of the day, you got a degree. Yes, you have saved some money, but the network you could build while you were a student was not done. This hurts you in many ways for the next 20, 30 years. Because when you had time to invest in developing your network, you couldn't. And remember, there's a lot of acceptance in circles when you're a student because people want to support you. But the minute you graduate out and you are part of the corporate circle, you are classified differently. Now you're another practitioner. Why should I support another practitioner so much as opposed to a student? So there is a lot of value in doing things while you're a student. So you need to give yourself time for that.
Is it mandatory for us to take foundations programming course?
No,
We've
it's a recommendation. Just
right. We received an email regarding a mentor mentee. They filled out the form. When can we connect with them? I would say give it another couple weeks and you should start hearing from your mentor. If I got the scholarship, can I submit the scholarship letter in the I-20 document as in the financial affidavit and financial statement?
you can do that. And what generally happens is once you get the scholarship, whenever you got it, it takes us about a week to send those letters out because we send it once to ISSO. So those letters will go out to the ISSO and they know that you have received a scholarship. So what they'll do is when they issue you an I-20, they will look at the lower amount. I think, if I'm not mistaken, for you to receive an I-20 without a scholarship, it's about $59,000 that you have to show, and 42,000 if you have a scholarship. Something you can check on the ISSO website, but it's an approximate number.
Is there any guide or video on how to enroll in classes on the portal? I did send that link to the graduate advising registration videos. Can GRE results received on 30th of April still be considered for a scholarship since the deadline is May 1st?
We need to have these results with us by that date. So if UT Dallas receives those results by April 30th, sure, why not? But if you take the test on April 30th, it will not reach us on May 1st. Remember, it takes about 2 to 3 weeks.
If somebody already has a program excellence scholarship, can they still work part-time on campus?
Yes, you can work on campus irrespective of whether you have a scholarship or not. If you have a scholarship, the only thing that and I'm not going to use the word bar, but when we're offering TA ships from the second semester onwards, we look at whether you have a scholarship or not, because then we want to spread the wealth and spread the benefit. But that's the only thing where we see that a student who has a scholarship is not a TA at the same time. But you can do any other on-campus job, yeah.
Someone's asking about booking accommodations on UTD's campus, so I just put the link to the housing.
Housing, okay.
Can I ask for a new I-20 after receiving a scholarship?
Absolutely. You can always get an updated I-20.
Okay. Subject OPRE 6332 is mentioned in the MSBA catalog, which is outside of BUON. If I were to enroll in that subject, it would fall under the outside course, or I could choose to take 2 other courses outside of my school.
So again, if it is listed on the catalog, it is part of the catalog.
Right. It doesn't have to be BUON as the prefix.
Yes.
Right. That's where people get hung up. Okay, scholarship questions. I'm awaiting decision on the scholarship. I'm interested to join MSBA and would like to extend MBA as well. A scholarship decision is a factor in deciding on UTD. GMAT score is not good. I have 15 years of experience. Do you suggest on writing a note for scholarship consideration? Would that help?
Anish, I would not stop you from doing that. Go ahead and send that note to JSOM, and we will just put that in the chat. Even if you go to the scholarship portal, you'll find the email address. It's jsom-grad-scholarship@utdallas.edu. Send them a note. It doesn't hurt.
How many semesters are in 1 year?
3 semesters, summer, spring, fall.
If I drop a class and decide to enroll in another class, is there any penalty in terms of the fees I pay, since there will technically be no refund?
If you do all this before August 15th, I'm just taking fall 24's example, and we saw that the regular registration ends on August 15th, you can do as many flips that you want. After that, from 16th to 26th, there will be a late $100 fee if you are adding a new class. You're swapping out, that's fine. But if you drop out of that class, again, your refund, if you're enrolled in another course and you're dropping a course for fall 24, the census day, which is September 4th, is the deadline for you to get full refund for that one class. Complete withdrawal for 100% refund. and dropping out of all courses, that deadline is August 18th. Again, just refer to the payment calendar, the academic calendar. That's the best place to go. When in doubt, use the academic calendar.
What is the difference between early payment and regular payment?
That's a good question. So again, for people for whom the registration is open at this point of time, qualify for the early payment, and then once you register for any of your courses after the early deadline, that's when you fall into the regular payment deadline.
If I get a scholarship and if I'm said that I'm eligible for in-state tuition, what is the exact number for my 9 months, my first 9 months tuition?
So, and I believe that we did send you a link to do a tuition estimate, but we are happy to do that again for you.
You can send the tuition estimate link.
So I'm on the website, the tuition's website, Bursar office, let's say. And then you go to tuition estimates for prospective students. I'm going to change my status to grad. Now, if you're getting in-state, your residency is a resident. They've not updated it for next semester, which will happen in a few weeks. Generally, it is early June, but let's use fall as an example. Variable versus guaranteed is that if you choose the guaranteed plan, your tuition will be frozen. It will not change, but because every year the tuition is changed by about 2%. Variable, again, is flexible, but what happens is the rate for variable is lower than the guaranteed one. Again, for students who are graduating in 1.5 to 2 years, I would recommend variable, but it's again your choice which one you want to go with. And I'm going to select my school as the Naveen Jindal School of Management. I'm going to put 9 credits here, let's say, or say you have to do 10 because you have PD as well. And then your tuition estimate is 9,133. Now, if this was a student who did not receive a scholarship, was an out-of-state international student, you select non-resident, submit, and that's your estimate. You can even print this. If your bank or somebody needs it, you can print it out and give it to them. I like that you can do it for multiple semesters. From a living cost perspective, just do a $12,100 per month. And then some other fees and charges that might apply to you is student health insurance. If you're an international student, you will have to take this. And they actually have that listed here. So that's the way to go about it. All right, sorry, Sivi,
I'm sorry. What is the GRE score required for one to be considered for scholarship?
There's no minimum GRE. Generally, we see that higher than our averages, which is about 310-ish, but that's just, there is no one way of doing it.
I got a scholarship for fall 24. In my mail, they mentioned that we have to enroll to classes within June 1, but in my UTD portal, my class starts from August. Well, yes, classes don't start till August, but you have to enroll. It also mentioned international students get a 50% waiver. So how can we register before June 1st? So this is everything we've gone over. Enrollment is now open. The semester does not begin until August 19th.
Yeah.
But your enrollment appointment should be in the next few days, and then enrollment remains open till August 18th with no issues. I am pursuing my undergrad now and will graduate in coming June. So can I enroll for the classes without submitting my degree certificate yet?
Yes, you can do that. Yes.
For courses, do you recommend doing 2 cores and 2 electives?
Okay, not a bad combination.
Right.
12 courses, just remember 12 credits. It can be slightly challenging as compared to 9, but people do that all the time.
If you received your I-20 but haven't received a scholarship decision, it will be updated if you are awarded the scholarship.
Yeah, you'll have to request a reprint.
What makes UTD's MSBA program unique?
Short answer, there's nobody like us.
Right.
But no, it's a good question. Thank you. Firstly, see, I would say a program's strength is two things. In fact, three things. Of course, our students are there, but more than that, what kind of courses are offered? And secondly, who are the people who are teaching those courses? I can guarantee that we have the largest catalog of courses in the entire world. Nobody offers close to 90 electives from which you can pick up your, what, 6 electives that you need. Nobody does that. Our faculty is top notch. You know, every school's you look at program rankings, but the way a school is ranked from a faculty perspective, they look at how the school's research position is. We are ranked number 2 in the world when it comes to research productivity. And especially in information systems, we are ranked 1. So that does say a lot about what kind of faculty you will be experiencing in your courses and what kind of stuff you'll be learning in the classes. So and the fact that this program, we have 10 tracks right now for fall 24. We have the 11th track in product and innovation analytics that is coming up. A lot of product management and product analytics and entrepreneurship related courses that are getting added. I mean, the amount of the flavors that are out there is immense. So I think for anybody who's coming to MSBA at UT Dallas is going to experience an ocean. You want a cup of water, you get an ocean. And that is what makes us unique. Plus all the stuff that you get to do outside of the classroom, with the student organizations, events, the ability for you to, rub shoulders with executives all the time. I mean, those kind of experiences really build you well. So it is a top place.
Is it compulsory to attend international student orientation?
Absolutely. Yes.
Can you explain a bit about the Fall 24 Program Excellence Graduate Scholarship? I got an email in regards to that.
Yeah, so our committee looked at a few. This is a brand new scholarship that we added a few weeks ago. Our committee looked at, as I said, for us, there are lots of factors that we look into before we offer somebody a scholarship. And we kind of looked at all of our students, including the ones who received any waivers and all. And we looked at who are those candidates that are worthy of a scholarship, and we offered that to them. So
where do we need to check what is the amount needed for I-20 for scholarship holders?
this will be on the ISSO website when you go to how to receive an I-20. Just go to the ISSO website. It'll give you instructions about receiving an I-20, and you will see it there. And they have nice guides and videos as well there.
Yeah. How to apply for jobs on campus? Since I have a program excellence scholarship, I'm not eligible for TARA in the next 2 semesters. So what are the other job options on campus and how to apply for them?
We use a portal called Handshake, and that portal will get activated in the next, generally close to the start of the semester. Once you have that, all the jobs are posted there and you can start applying.
Can I defer admission after receiving an I-20?
You can.
What is the last date for enrolling in classes?
We took that. Yeah. I think, we are 11 minutes over, so let's take only questions that we have not answered.
Okay. We talked about having admission push your hold. During the first semester, are we only allowed to pick core classes? No.
You can do a mix.
As long as there are no prerequisites and that there are seats available.
Seats available, absolutely.
Right. Can we finish the program in 1 year, 3 semesters?
You can.
How is the $1,000 scholarship awarded to students?
We just answered that question. Yeah.
No, I think literally they mean like, how do they receive the $1,000?
Oh,
that's how I read that. I think
okay. Well, it could be okay. Let's do it both the ways. One is all this is put on your student account, so the $1,000 plus any kind of waivers that you're getting will be added to your student account, and that kind of changes the total numbers that is due. And the second thing is, how is it awarded? Again, the committee looks at everything, your whole application package, and where do you stand in the pool? That's important. You might be a great candidate individually, but then in the pool of people that have applied, where do you stand? And then based on that, they make a determination who gets it.
Do we have to arrive by early admission date mentioned in I-20?
You can, if and since you mentioned I-20, international students can enter 30 days before the start of the semester. I would recommend at least do 2 weeks before. I know we all love our families. We want to be close to them as much as possible, but you will be in a very stressed state if you're joining us just at the start of the classes. You would have missed orientations. Do not miss them. They are very important. Okay. They give you a lot of important information that's required. All the TB test, health tests that you have to do, and just settling in, you know, just you have to calm yourself down once you're here. So all that settling takes at least 2 weeks. I would say come at least 2 weeks before the start of classes.
I'm going to skip the question about friends I-20s showing different numbers. They need to ask those questions.
No, let me remember, or let me tell you one thing. What could have happened is the kind of, you said one of them got in state and the other is 26K.
They both have scholarships.
You might have to just send that out to ISSO to see
Right.
what's the difference there. They can help you.
Considering evolving AI, why does UTD not provide AI and data analytics strategy module?
We are already in. Uh, so one of the things that are coming, first of all, we do that. We do that through different courses. When you say that we don't provide, maybe the nomenclature of a course doesn't say exactly AI, but some of our top courses that have seen hundreds of students enroll in multiple sections over the years do talk about the strategy piece and all. But we are very right now from an ethics perspective, from a platforms perspective, what does AI look like? Those are the courses that we are going to add. We already have the platforms course. We're just kind of changing how uh, it was focused on general platforms as opposed to, okay, if I need to implement AI, what kind of platforms I need. But the ethics course in AI is something that is going to come up very soon, and that will kind of talk about the strategies as well as the pieces around ethics. So yes, once you start the program, you're right in the alley of uh, seeing that course offered in the very first semester or the second semester.
Do we have any research area in this program?
We do have that. Again, we have a lot of research faculty, so that's a bonus. But if students want to pursue their research interests, absolutely, we have an undergraduate research program that we recently started, but very we were just talking a few days ago. We are going to open that to even graduate students who get to research on topics uh, that some of our industry partners, or even if it is an internal research project, uh, that will be open to all graduate and undergraduate students.
Do students generally tend to stick to a track across their studies, or are there students who pick different courses from different tracks without completing all the courses in a single track?
It's very rare to see one student do all courses from one track. Mostly it is multiple.
Yes, you can take electives in the first semester. Do we need to pursue MSBA dual degree to take the benefit of the scholarship?
So you have to get, if you have to enroll in, and that's what the letter may have told you, you must enroll in the program. But at a later point of time, after the first academic year, if you decide you don't want to do the MBA, you can reach out to advising and they'll take the MBA off.
I received a GRE waiver, but have written GRE only for scholarship. So am I eligible for the same?
When you say the same, I don't know what you're talking about, but
I
I'm
think it is
guessing
scholarship. Applying for the
yes.
scholarship.
Again, even with the waiver, our program excellence scholarship is looking at some of the candidates. So we might evaluate you for that. But if you're going for the Dean's Excellence Scholarship, for that, a GRE or a GMAT is required.
Can I defer my admission twice in a row?
You can do once. The second time, it's up to the admissions team to do that. Generally, they don't, because once you have deferred, the second time, if you want to defer, they will ask you to apply again. Now, because you were admitted already, there's high chances that you'll get admitted the second time, but deferral is only once.
When is orientation?
So the school orientation generally is on the Thursday before the start of classes, and that Thursday happens to be 15th, August 15th. So you will see an email about that very soon, but just guessing the date based on how we have done this, August 15th.
Do we need to inform anyone about taking the graduate certificate in applied machine learning, or just flow with the 4 courses and get it done? No,
No,
have
you have to apply. So go ahead. Sorry, Simi. Go ahead.
to apply.
Yes,
It
you
will
need
not
to
take you
apply for
very
that.
long. There will be no charge to you as a current student. If they're admitted now, are they considered a current student, or should they wait until September, August, or
I think
September?
just after your census day is done, that's when you should apply.
Okay. So apply in September for spring of 25 so that you are admitted and enrolled in the certificate, so that when you complete the 4th course, you are eligible to be awarded the degree. Just simply taking those 4 classes does not earn you the certificate. And the Handshake portal will be shared with you. The university will create your account and will share it with you. Please do not go in and create an account for yourself now. Does loan sanction letter affect my estimated expenses in my I-20?
So does the loan affect my estimated expense? I mean, if you mean that if that can be used, yes, you can. You can use your loan letter. That is we consider that. Absolutely.
And yes, you can defer your admission as long as you defer by census day of your original admitting term. So if you have been admitted for fall, you need to make sure you defer, unenroll, drop any courses you're enrolled in, and then submit a deferral request by, I would just sort of say September 1st to be safe. Census day is
No. Before the start of classes. Do that before the start of classes.
It's census day is technically the deadline, I believe, to defer. But you should.
But they need to
drop
drop all the
because it
classes.
should be dropped from all the classes. Yeah. Is it advisable to choose applied econometrics and time series in the first semester?
People have taken that course in the very first semester. Again, unless you're strong with some of your stats concepts and I would not recommend that. You can take it. It is designed for people to take it, and there are a few people that do it, but I'm not going to just recommend it as a first one.
Yes, drop your classes and then you can send an email to MSBA at UT Dallas and I'll send you the link to submit your deferral request.
Here is the link to defer. I'm just going to put that in the chat. Again, whatever source you want to show, whether it's a loan letter, it's your personal funds, it's some other sponsor, it doesn't matter. That was Saurabh's question. I just read that.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, so that brings us to the end of this. Went a little over time. Want to be very respectful of your time as well. But thank you so much for sending this. Okay, there's another question. Can we use other source of funds? Yeah, I mean, you show it on your I-20, but then your sponsor changes. That's fine. That should be okay. Yeah. All right, folks, this will be posted very soon. We'll send you an email as well with a lot of these details. But thank you so much for joining us, and we'll be in touch. We'll be sending more and more emails to you as we progress towards the semester, but very excited to have you all join us today, and we look forward to seeing you in summer and fall at UT Dallas.